Morning men, starboard 10. Here we go again. Have to be quick, guys. It's bin day. I have to take the bin up. Told my wife I had to make a video and perhaps she'd like to do it for me, but she said no, she's using her bad leg as an excuse again. It's only about 100 yards up the road. It'd be good exercise for her leg. Oh well, suppose I'd better do it. Country falling to bits and I'm taking bins up the road. Okay, so what have we got today? Let me get rid of my blathering face. No, yes. Okay, ask Sam for the usual thing. Oh no, first of all, I was trying to track down that Tommy Robinson video I told you about, where he spoke about who was behind the funding of reform and what had happened in the past. And you can see it there. Sam, some time ago, I watched a YouTube video in which Tommy Robinson spoke about how he'd been approached by a leading Asian conservative to work with the conservatives behind the scene. Is there any way we can find out about this? Sam replies in the negative. I think most of this, guys, you can read yourself. Okay, just hit pause. I mean, what was the guy's name? I mean, suspended. Yeah. What is not found out, clearly verified. Since you recall seeing a YouTube video in which Robinson made this claim, here are possible ways. Gives me all the tips to track him down. Who was Tommy talking about? This guy. Yeah. Well, he got thrown out of the Tory party. He served in the armed forces. This is alarming. Okay, he was in the Territorial Army, but his last posting was Army Contingent Counterinsurgency. Yeah. Do we really want Muslims in positions like that? No, I don't think so. Anyhow, back to what Tommy was saying. Okay, like I said, just pause. Not just yet, Sam. I know what he said. You've given me a name, and I'll do more research into it. I then asked for news on the usual suspects. Right, what do we know about the last 24 hours? Nigel Farage, Reform UK, multiple fresh pieces today. Piece on the Guard from the Guardian, Independent, Telegraph. Ben Habib, can't see a national outfit. Local news. Oh yes, there was an event. Hey, you advanced UK people, if you want me to do articles and any activities that you carry out, I'd be more than willing to do it. Just need some images to write a story around. Rupert Lowe, no news again today, several days old. Come on, Reform, we need more news. Do I want to open up the window? No. Okay, so what I've got here, what's the Guardian blathering about? Let's have a look. Dear Britain, do you worry that Team Farage is just a hot mess in power? Footage of Reform councillors fighting, further proof that uselessness abounds. Actually, I've got mixed feelings about this battle within the council. Guardian down here begging for money again. I love seeing them on their knees, almost as much as I love. No, that was a different time, wasn't it? Different place. Okay, so that was the Guardian. Oops, that's just checking the news over on Russia. Labour MPs call for Reform councillors to resign. I don't know who is voting Labour. Who's this? What's this one? I don't know anyone who was voting Labour. Reform is turning red. South Wales constituency. Yeah, us Welsh can be a little bit slow on the uptake at times when it comes to politics. Voting for, well, my father voted, so I'm going to vote the same way. I say to my friends, loyalty is a wonderful attribute, but blind loyalty is just plain stupidity. Oh, well, look, they're saying it here. A one-legged donkey could run for Labour and people around you would still vote for it. Well, that's true. Absolutely. It was, but if you want to see how the mold can be broken, have a look at the story about the independent MP, Peter Law, who I grew up with as a child, how we came to be MP for Blaenau Gwent as an independent after Labour tried to parachute, I think it might have been one of their top guys then. I tell you what, Peter Law's maiden speech in the Houses of Parliament was absolutely brilliant. Basically, what he said was, this is what happens when you don't listen to the people. I like Peter. He was a real good constituency MP, even if he was Labour before becoming independent. Back over to the news. Well, okay. Call for reform to resign. Yeah. Oh, this is over that spat they had, didn't they? And they checked him out. Now, I tell you why I've got mixed feelings about it. They're having to go with the person who turned around and said, however, when it comes to making the real big decisions, and LGR is one of those really big decisions, sometimes I will make a decision that might not be liked by everybody in the group, but I am afraid you are just going to have to fucking suck it up. Well, sometimes you just do. On-screen reform councillors were left visibly shocked by her comment, oh, for God's sake. See, this is the problem with most of Reform's councillors and a lot of their members. There's no spine, they get upset over everything. Perhaps they should join the Green Party or something like that. They will question whether, and then they questioned whether Reform had the right leader and the right cabinet. Oh dear, 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 dear. Come on, boys. Reform doesn't want you if you've got spirit and spine. Get over to Advance UK. At least over there, if you've got a problem with the leader, you can get rid of them, if you so wish. Is there anything else now? I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Oh, yeah, this. I tagged this on. I thought I'd ask about a quote I remembered from Winston Churchill in the River War. And Sam reminded me with this. This is talking about Islam, and it's spoken by Winston Churchill. Mixed feelings about Winston Churchill. I still haven't really forgiven him for that time he sent those two battleships out to the Far East when he'd been drinking without air cover, and they both got sank. Sank? Anyhow, moving on. This is what he said about Islam. How dreadful are the curses which Mohammedanism lays on its votaries. Besides the fanatical frenzy, which is as dangerous in a man as hydrophobia in a dog, there is this fearful fatalistic apathy. The effects are apparent in many countries. Improvident habits, slovenly systems of agriculture, sluggish methods of commerce, and insecurity of property exists wherever the followers of the Prophet rule or live. A degraded sensualism deprives this life of grace and refinement, an ex of its dignity and sanctity. The fact that in Mohammedan law every woman must belong to some man as his absolute property, either as a child, a wife, or a concubine, must delay the final extinction of slavery until the faith of Islam has ceased to be a great power among men. I think we'll all agree with that. Individual Muslims may show splendid qualities. Thousands become brave and loyal soldiers of the Queen. All know how to die. And, yeah. But the influence of the religion paralyzes the social development of those who follow it. No stronger retrograde force exists in this world. Yes. Well, now you think about that. And then I thank Sam. Come up, Trump, stand down, and I'll call on you. Bravo, Zulu, Paul. Bravo, Zulu is military terminology for well done. Sam remembers I was in the forces. Now, if I can Come back. Here I am. Did you miss me? I missed you. Right. Before you go, one last thing about the channel, guys. It's doing rather well. We are starting to get there. Our subscriptions are slowly crawling up. But again, I've got to tell you this. This is not enough, guys, just to be a subscriber. How YouTube works is, when I put this video up, the first thing it does is have a look at it. It'll scan it to see that I'm not a bigot. I'm not saying anything. That I'm not a racist. I'm not saying anything. And when it's decided it's suitable for people to see, it will put it out to a small group of people. Depending on the response from those people, it will say, I'll show this to some more people. However, given that only a small percentage of people view the content to the end, normally only watch 20-30% of the content, YouTube says, oh, they didn't like this video, I won't show it to any more people, and so the video dies. You can see that with the video on where I asked for people to sign the petition about digital ID. Nobody was interested in watching it. Few people watched it all the way through, and so YouTube said, nobody wants to watch this, I'm not going to show it. And so a possibly good video could die. This is happening actually with the 3 stories on the torture of the grave. Only a few people clicking on it to read it, fewer people watching them through to the end, and so YouTube says, this is hot garbage, it's not worth people seeing, I'm not going to show it to anyone. So if you're a subscriber, I've asked you to do this before and I'll ask you again, watch it to the end. If you're on a computer, it's not too bad. You can leave it running in another window and go watch a really good channel like Fast Jet Performance. Anyhow, that's all I've got for you today. I'll make another video later on. But until then, I'll be seeing you on the beach. Bye now.